In this video, we're going to cover how to insert floors, change the flooring style or color. We're going to look at our drawings in a 3D view, and I will also show you how to render so that the colors of our floors show up. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start with our floors. So in your architecture tab, we have our floor symbol. Again, there's different types of floors, but we are going to stick with using an architectural floor for this assignment. The easiest way to do our floors is typically using the rectangle tool in your draw panel up in your ribbon. All right, but because our room is not square or rectangular shape, you're going to need to use the line tool for tracing the perimeter of our classroom. So I'm going to use the line tool, even though I could use the rectangle tool. And my rule of thumb is to create the flooring, from the inside of the room. I know sometimes we're tempted to do the edges, and you can do like the center lines if you want to use the tracking lines that'll go ahead and show up. And you can do center of wall to center of wall, especially when we get to our house floor plans. That might be a nice practice, but you're literally just going to go around the perimeter and create a closed object around the perimeter of our classroom. Again, I'm not using our classroom shape, but you would go around the perimeter of all of the walls for the classroom assignment. I'm keeping this one nice and square. So once you've created that line or that object to represent where your floors are going to go, it shows up as like that pink or purple, like magenta color. And the next thing that we need to do is finish the editing mode for our floors. So we're going to come up to our Modify, Create Floor Boundary tab, and in our Mode panel, we're going to click on that green check mark to finish our edit mode. What that's going to do is it's going to fill in where we identified we want our floor to be, and it's going to turn blue, and it's going to have a bunch of little dots inside of it to represent that that floor is there. The flooring type that we used was generic 12-inch. All right. There's a couple of different types of floors that are preloaded. I don't necessarily want to use any of those. And so once I click off of it, you notice that my floor turns blue, but now I'm having a hard time selecting that floor, which becomes problematic because I need to go in and I actually need to duplicate my floor. So how we kind of get around this, or my favorite way to get around this, is making our floor plan 3D. So right now we're working in a 2D form, but we can go ahead and create our floor plans 3D. So how you do that is by going to your View tab, and then we have this little house icon for a 3D view. There are some different functions in here. For right now, we're just going to look at the 3D view. So if you click on that little house, it'll turn your room 3D. So now we can see that floor that we insert. And if I hover over the floor, it'll outline it in like a little bit of a blue preview. If I click on it, it'll select the entire floor, and the entire floor is going to turn blue now. Now, my flooring is carpet in the classroom, so I need to come in and edit my type. And the first thing that I need to do is I need to duplicate this floor, and I'm literally just going to call it generic C1110 carpet to represent that this is the flooring that I want. Now, I've already named it carpet. You won't have that name pre-stored like I do. After I've changed the name or the type of the name, I'm going to come in and I'm going to edit my structure. So I'm going to edit my floor, and your material here is probably not going to say carpet. It's going to say something else. But we have this huge material list that we can come in and select from. Again, a lot of these are pre-stored. So we have wood and vinyl and tile and stainless steel and all kinds of different things. But again, we're going to be using carpet. So in our graphics tab, we have shading as the color, but we actually want to select our appearance tab. And our appearance tab is giving us what the image of our carpet looks like. So your carpet actually defaults to kind of a red carpet. But what I did was I took a specific image and I uploaded that specific image to kind of match the carpet that we have in our room. So let's say I want a different kind of carpet. I don't want my carpet to look like this. I can remove my image, it turns blank, and then since we don't have an image, the carpet will turn to a color that we may not want. So now my carpet's going to be green. I'm going to select apply and OK here and OK here. So I'm going to click off of my floor, but nothing happens. All right. And the reason why nothing is happening is because we haven't rendered our 3D image yet to see what all of these properties look like. So right next to this little house, this 3D view icon in your view tab, we have this render button. Because it's a small room and we're not making a whole lot of changes yet, you can just click on the render. Eventually, we will render to the cloud when we get into some of our more complex floor plans. But right now, we can just press render, and then you don't need to change any of the settings here. You just press render again up at the top. And it's going to take a second, and it's going to render that 3D view. So now you can see what your doors and windows look like, the height of your doors and windows. Yes, I know my windows are the wrong height, but now you can see that bright green, awful color carpet. All right. Obviously, we don't want green carpet. So what we can actually do is come to the interwebs, and I just did like a general carpet search. An image search. I found this carpet. I clicked on it once and it brought me to Lowe's. And what I did was I grabbed my snipping tool and I went to new and I grabbed a little screenshot of what that carpet looks like. I went to file, save as, and I'm going to call this one C110 carpet. And then I'm going to save it to my Google Drive, where are my folders? Here they are. Save it to my CAD folder. I have an architecture folder. And then maybe I want to go ahead and save it into my classroom floor plan. Okay, so it's saving as a PNG file, which is good. That's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The next thing that I can do is I can come back into Revit, and I can reselect my floor. And again, my carpet is still selected, but I still need to edit my type because I need to implement, a carpet that somewhat matches the carpet we have in class. So I'm going to come back to edit. My material is going to stay carpet. How I change that is this little gray box here. Click on that once or twice if it's slow to load. And I'm going to select my carpet. Notice it's still giving me that green preview. I'm going to come back to my appearance tab. I don't actually want it to be green. I want it to be like this gray color, but it's not going to show me the carpet of the image unless I insert the image here. So now what I need to do is actually find my image. So I'm going to go back to my Google Drive, back into my CAD folder. Classroom floor plan is what we're working on, and there is my PNG file of my carpet. So I'm going to open that up, and it's going to give me a preview of what that carpet looks like. I need to press apply, then I need to press OK. I need to press OK again. I'm going to press apply a second time and OK, so it'll update my changes. Again, when I click off of it, it's going to look like absolutely nothing happened, because I need to just view that when I render. So I'm going to press the render button again, give it a minute, and now my carpet is a pattern tile of that carpet sample that I stored in my design. So that is how you render. That is how you view on 3D. Now you're noticing probably, how do I get back to my floor plan, right? Well, that's where the project browser comes into play. Right now I'm in my 3D view. My floor plan is on level 1, which is where my 2D drawing is going to be. So if I double click on level 1, here's my floor plan in 2D. And then what I can do is condense these. But if I click on this little plus sign in my 3D views, I can just double click on 3D view. It'll pop back in to 3D view, so I can toggle between those two very quickly. And that is how you add flooring, view 3D, and last but not least, render your drawing so that you can see what you're coming up with in a 3D visual.